This is two big weekends in a row. Boxing. It's a boxing junkie's dream. We have Canelo Alvarez versus Joselito Lopez this weekend. And we also have the big one, Sergio Martinez versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I'm going to give a breakdown of both of those fights. And I want to also recap Andre Ward's terrific performance against Chad Dawson last weekend. First, I'm going to start with Ward. There's really not much to say. I mean, the guy is just a phenomenal fighter. You know, he's smacking a lot of people in the face that didn't appreciate him early in his career. You could see they had a plan with him. He was coming along. You know, they were getting rounds in. He never forced things early. I wasn't even as high on Ward early in his career as I should have been, and I should have been able to see more potential in him. The guy's a phenomenal fighter. He broke Dawson down. He did so much stuff to Dawson. It's hard for me to even get it all in this segment. He kept touching his body with a straight right hand to bring Dawson's eyes down. And then as he brought his eyes down, he would come over the top with a left hook. He didn't even always have to have his left foot on the outside of Dawson's left foot. The second knockdown, if you notice, he beat Dawson to the punch with a short hook. His left foot was inside of Dawson's right front lead foot. I mean, Ward is just a phenomenal technical fighter. You know, he's concentrating and he's focusing every second of every round. You know, and it's not always about a guy's punch rate or punch output. Sometimes you have a guy whose mental stamina, he's always taking advantage of what you're doing wrong. Guys like Pernell Whitaker, guys like Floyd Mayweather, guys like Bernard Hopkins, they don't have, you know, Aaron Pryor's work rate, but constantly from second to second, round to round, they're always making you pay for your mistakes. And what that does, it breaks you down mentally. Mentally, that does something to you. You know, Dawson, a very good fighter. You know, I think he conceded a lot in this fight. From what I heard, you know, Ward got more money. He fought Ward in his hometown, and he gave up the weight. That's a lot to concede. I honestly think Dawson underestimated Andre Ward. And you guys, you know, I'll tell any fighter, you guys got to stop getting into how things look and, oh yeah, this guy is soft and I can beat him. I'm not saying that's what Dawson was saying verbatim, but to give up that much against a top 5 pound for pound guy, I wouldn't have done it. But that's neither here nor there. I told all of these critics that kept talking about this wasn't going to be a good fight. The winner of this fight goes into the Hall of Fame. When you have a performance like this from a fighter of Andre Ward's caliber on a big stage against a fighter of Chad Dawson's caliber, it's a transcendent performance. You know, for everybody that wants to knock that fight about these are two boxers, it's going to be a stinker, that's BS. That's a transcendent performance. Andre Ward just went in the Hall of Fame on that performance. So all of the writers out there that talked about how stinky the fight was going to be in the snooze fest, they were wrong. There's nothing more I can say about that except congratulations to Andre Ward. It was a beautiful performance, and the guy's going to be tough to beat. And you know when a fighter's good because they're going to start digging up fighters for him to beat. Could he beat Roy Jones at 68? How would he do against James Toney? How would he do against Joe Calzaghe? What about Nigel Benn, Jerome McClellan? You know you've accomplished something. When people are not talking about you fighting guys in your era, they're talking about you fighting guys in other eras because you've dominated your era so much. So congratulations to Andre Ward and congratulations to Virgil Hunter, you know, for bringing them along. He's doing a terrific job. Next, I want to talk about Canelo Alvarez and Joselito Lopez. I think Golden Boy has done Alvarez an injustice. I think they're overdoing it with the selection of this opponent. I think the world of Joselito Lopez. I think he's a terrific fighter, but he's a 140-pounder that was scheduled to fight Kendall Holt. this summer. He lost out on that fight and got the Victor Ortiz fight. So he was kind of brought in to get showcased by Victor Ortiz at 147 pounds. He wins that fight. Although he was behind in the fight, he won the fight legitimately. Now he's fighting Canelo Alvarez at 154 pounds. I think they overdid it a little bit. The perception is sometimes reality, and the perception is, my goodness, Alvarez is fighting a freaking junior welterweight. If Alvarez doesn't blow this kid out in 3 rounds, every junior middleweight in the world is going to be lining up to fight him. He has to do to this kid what Tommy Hearns did to Roberto Duran to get appreciated. And I'm not so sure he can do that to Josecito Lopez. Lopez is a tough guy. He's dead game. This kid brings it. I thought he was losing the fight against Victor Ortiz, but he was in the fight. Every round he was in the fight. He was giving constant resistance. I think highly of Canelo Alvarez. I think he's one of the best combination punchers of this generation. You don't see that often these days. Everybody wants to pop shot or looks for a big shot or skate around on their jab. Very rarely do you see a guy that's in this day and age run off 4, 5, and 6 punch combinations from upstairs to downstairs or downstairs to upstairs. You just don't see it very often. You don't see it very often. Shane Mosley used to do it when he was younger, but he got away from it. Marco Antonio Barrera was, but those guys kind of turned pro in the early 90s, you know. You just don't see that often. So I got a lot of respect for Canelo Alvarez. I think that he's one of the best super welterweights or junior middleweights in the world, and I don't think they have to, and this is no disrespect to Josecito Lopez, but they don't have to fight that kind of guy, you know. K9 Bundridge would have been perfect for this fight. There's guys he could have fought, but that's neither here nor there. I don't think he's going to stop this kid early. I am going to pick Canelo Alvarez on a sort of a mercy stoppage to the mid-late point of the fight, maybe between 8 and 10. I think that, you know, it's going to maybe the corner or the referee is just going to just have enough. I thought Victor Ortiz was beating Lopez, and from my sources in the gym, people tell me that Ortiz is an extremely hard puncher. They also tell me that Alvarez can really crack, and their punching power is comparable. But I think Alvarez is a better combination puncher, and I think he's more consistent. I also think he goes to the body a little bit better than Ortiz does. Ortiz kind of jumps around and kind of scampers around the ring, where Alvarez is a little bit better from point A to point B. So I'm thinking, I'm going to say Alvarez by 8th and 9th round stoppage, somewhere in that area. And I think he's going to receive a lot of criticism. All of the fellow fighters are going to, you know, blast the kid. And I actually think he's a terrific fighter. He's right there with Lara. He's right there with Bundridge. You know, he's right up there with the best junior middleweights of the world. You know, he doesn't have to fight a blown up junior welterweight in a fight of this magnitude. Next, we got the big fight. Sergio Martinez versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I have to bring this up. People may not like it, but I have to bring this up. I love the fight, but I hate the disingenuous nature of the promotion. I think that Martinez's belt was stolen from him, and he's the challenger in this fight. Chavez is getting his name first on the billboards, and Martinez never lost his title in the ring. It's ridiculous to me. He's the champion. I got a lot of respect for Chavez. I think he's improved a lot. But when guys get this kind of treatment, it makes other people not like him. It makes people criticize him, and it's not necessary. The kid can fight his butt off. He's been improving drastically over the last 2 years. Chavez is in this fight. This is no worse than a 60-40 fight. But you don't have to. He should be the challenger. Like Jermaine Taylor was to Bernard Hopkins, he should be the challenger. He's the young gun. You know, He even deserves a title shot. He just doesn't deserve to be the champion and his name on the billboard and first. And Martinez has to fight for his title that he never lost in the ring. I don't like that. That's not fair. As far as the fight is concerned, Chavez is the sexy pick. I know a lot of people that are picking Chavez because of his height, his volume punching, and his pressure. I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to pick Sergio Martinez. I'm picking Sergio Martinez because I believe his rhythm will be too hard for Chavez to catch. I believe that there will be rounds where Chavez will be confused and not fully know how to pressure Martinez properly. And he'll lose those rounds, and I think that that will be the deciding factor in the fight. It's going to be a tough fight. It's going to be a really, 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 really tough fight. There's some things that I'm concerned about with Martinez, though. Southpaws lead with the liver. See, everybody says throw a straight right hand down the middle on southpaws, which is a great scoring shot. But they lead with the liver. The liver is located on the right side of the body, and that's the lead side with a southpaw. I don't know if Sergio Martinez can defend himself well on the inside because he fights with his hands down so often. And when you fight with your hands down, it's very hard to defend your body. That scares me. I know it's a method to his madness. He wants you to kind of come in so he can go over the top with his excellent fast shots, but that scares me in this fight. I think the telltale sign of this fight will be if Martinez can flatten Chavez's tires, or that straight left hand that he throws to the navel, will that slow Chavez down enough so Martinez can have something, can sort of take advantage of him in the later part of the fight. I do think this fight will go plenty of rounds. I don't know if it's going to be a stoppage. I'm looking for Martinez to win the early rounds. I'm looking for Chavez to come on during the middle rounds. And I'm looking for Martinez to come on like a raging animal around 9 or 10. He usually gets his second win around there and he goes off. I'm looking for Martinez to throw a beautiful little hybrid hook jab, right jab over Chavez's guard. I'm looking for Chavez to throw a straight right hand and square up and come over with a left hook. These are the keys to the fight. I don't believe that Chavez just knows enough to deal with that fancy rhythm, that weird European rhythm that Martinez had. So I'm going to pick Martinez. I don't know if it's going to be a stoppage or decision, but I'm picking Sergio Martinez just on good karma alone for them stealing the guy's belt. So we'll see next week. There you have my picks. Later, guys.